another very solid 90 minutes, potentially plus, in the away leg. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's concerning that the second leg is not at Ibrox." I'm not concerned about that, Billy, because we've had home legs, in the first leg in previous ties. Maybe not so much last season. I know it was only Red Star, but in that match, proved that we could get the job done. We took a decent lead over there, and it was enough to get through the tie. I'm not saying every single match is like that, but it's about building a lead in the home leg, whether that's the first leg or the second leg. So I don't want anyone feeling really concerned by the fact that we're at home first. It's still there to be won. It's still there to build something. The pressure will be that, on those guys if we can take a lead, and we'll see what PSV have got for us in the second leg, because we know we're going to bring it. And this is such a massive game. I just want them to do well.
Mate. I mean, the perfect scenario is we take a lead earlier and we don't concede any. You know what I mean? Which it gives us. I mean, obviously there's no away goals rule or anything like that, but if you go there maybe with a 1-0 or a 2-0, that gives you a great platform to build on over there. You know what I mean? But even if it's a draw tonight, mate, if it's a draw tonight, a score draw or a non-scoring draw, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? As long as we score one more goal in them, that's all I'm concerned about, mate. That's all we have to do: score one more goal than PSV Eindhoven, and we go through. But it's going to be an absolute cracker, mate. So it is. I've been really looking forward to it. I mean, when the ties first came out, just say, when it was either Monaco or PSV, I was desperate to get PSV Eindhoven, because I didn't want to get Monaco, because I thought they were could have been more a danger to us than PSV Eindhoven could have been. Obviously,
it's true. They spent a lot of money, so it was. And when I watched the PSV Monaco second leg, Monaco, I think, will be kicking themselves because they created 27 shots on goal. They had a lot of possession, and of course, it was right in that last minute or two that they conceded for it to go into extra time. So, I don't want to take anything away from PSV, but it was a big, big scalp for them, and it could easily have been Monaco. So, it wasn't like absolutely destroyed Monaco. It was a very tight game, but an open game, as the stats suggest, with Monaco's amount of shots on goal. So they're definitely a team that we can get in amongst. Just before you give the team news out again, I just wanted to say apologies to our listeners. We have had a few technical issues. Hopefully those have been resolved. Please comment on the various platforms if you're still seeing any issues or interference. Billy, please go through the team one more time, my friend.
No bother, buddy. No problem, Juicy. The starting 11 is McLaughlin in goal, and their defence is Tavernier, Golson, Sands and Barisic. I would imagine the midfield will be, as I said, mate, I think it'll be a 4-1-4-1, or a 4-2-3-1. So in fact, I'll just start again there, mate. It was I'll go McLaughlin in goals, Tavernier, Golson, Sands, Barisic, Davis, Lundstrom, Tillman, Lawrence, Kent and Kolak, and that could go a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-1-4-1. Just with what I'm reading off the team sheet there. Yeah. But it looks a strong enough starting 11, mate. People have their own thoughts on the laddie Sands playing in there again. But obviously Gio thinks that's his position. So I mean, who are we to judge the gaffer and his management team, mate? Like, you know,
I mean,
the guy's he's obviously bringing whatever tools he's shown in training, mate. Obviously Gio likes what he sees, so that's how the guy's getting a chance to play in there.
Yes. And it could be a question of fitness. Maybe we know Sands has had quite a lot of game time. I don't think he's done too much wrong. I think maybe it was quite hard to judge Ben Davies at the weekend because St Johnstone didn't really offer too much. But the opportunity's there if we need these players, if we need to shore up more in defence, if we're holding a lead, we've got an opportunity to bring on more players. I don't want us to go too defensive. How do you feel about Lawrence? I think he was always going to start today, especially when we saw him on the bench at the weekend.
Tom Lawrence is a good player. I mean, he's a very workmanlike football player, and he's got goals in him too, juicy. So I like the look of Tom Lawrence and what he brings to the team. You know what I mean? He's got a good work ethic as well there, and he's direct. You know what I mean? And also, listen, he puts himself about too, which is good as well. You know what I mean? He's got that wee bit of needle about him as well. So I like that in a player. Obviously, we'll need to be careful tonight with our discipline because I don't know how many the referee, I don't know how many what his card distribution is over the last number of games, but it doesn't savour for great reading right enough. So we'll need to be very, very careful tonight regarding our discipline and make sure we don't give the referee any easy decisions to make, because that's the last thing we want, mate.
Yeah, we don't want referee controversy tonight. We've seen enough of that in the previous two legs. But this is, of course, a Rangers phone-in show. So we all really want to hear what you guys have to say. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
So, of course, this is the first leg. So we've got another week of this excitement. And if we can manage to get through both of these legs, we make it to the promised land of the group stages, Billy. And I don't think we can not acknowledge the financial aspect of making it that far. And I know that we have Europa League guaranteed if we don't make it, but I don't want to think about that. I want to think about being positive and trying to get into these group stages and having access to better financial footing for us, and possibly giving Gio maybe a little bit more activity in the transfer market. I'm not saying that he needs to, but it's nice to have that option should he need it. What's your thoughts on that?
Aye, mate. I mean, it's the financial clout that it brings to the club, mate, is awesome. You know what I mean? Playing in the Champions League. I mean, where we've came from, obviously, in the last number of years. Obviously came up through the divisions, and then obviously under Steven Gerrard, and then under Giovanni, and how well Steven Gerrard took the team through the Europa League, mate, and the money that generated, obviously, with the money that be generated for getting to the Europa League final last year, and obviously we won in the league. We're that mob winning the league. They obviously qualified due to the coefficient. But that's another story, as they say. But no, the financial clout that can give the Rangers, mate, it would be brilliant, and that's what we want. It would help if any penny that comes into the club now, mate. Excuse me. It doesn't matter what it is. As all can only benefit the club, mate. But the prestige and the money that can be generated with Champions League money, then you've got the TV money, you've got the ticket money, you've got all the different expenses that go through the ground. It all generates big money, mate. And I mean, that's the Champions League football is dining at the top table, isn't it? So, and for a club like the famous Glasgow Rangers, mate, that's where we want to be. We want to be dining at the top table anyway, because that's where we belong.
Absolutely. And we've been building to this, Billy, in terms of European performances since Steven Gerrard came in, and then, of course, onto Gio and what he achieved with us last season. We are being noticed in Europe again. And, of course, we had a number of years where we weren't able to compete in Europe when we were in the lower divisions. And since we've been back, my goodness, have we been making the most of the opportunities. And that has improved the level and quality of players that we've had access to. And we've seen that, haven't we, over the last couple of years, just that gradual improvement players that we've had into the club. And now we've seen that in some of the sales that we've had in the summer in terms of being able to cash in on some of those assets. And I think that's really important for us, especially when you see what the very poor TV deals are that they are negotiating for the Scottish leagues. We're going to have to pay it our own way and do things ourselves, because no one's going to help us. We have to do it ourselves, Billy.
That's right. We expect favours from anybody, mate. That's what I've always said. We do not need favours for anybody. We do it ourselves. That's what Rangers are all about. I mean, the Euro runs, as you rightly said there, Juicy. I mean, we've improved and improved each season. We've done it under Steven Gerrard, and I think we just go. I wouldn't say stale, but I don't know if maybe the word "found out" is the right word to use as well. But I think maybe Steven Gerrard and his background team had maybe just took the Rangers as far as he could maybe take them at that time, and all saying a new broom sweeps the floor clean, mate. That's what we were needing, eh? And Gio's come in, and obviously he's had Steven Gerrard's players and whatnot. Now he's got his own players in, and he's wanting to build his own team. And I mean, we only have to look at our runs in Europe to see how we keep progressing through the. Yeah. For talking about going for the last 32 into the last 16, the last 16 into quarter-finals, and then getting to the final of a European trophy. And then now we're on the verge, we're only 2 games away from getting into the top table in the Champions League, mate. So we're consistently improving in Europe year in, year out. And obviously you want your league form to be, we want to be winning the league championship in Scotland every year, and we want to be winning cups. Obviously, winning the league's your bread and butter type thing, like, you know. But we've certainly been improving every year. And listen, this will be a test for us over these 2 games, and it'll really show how far we have came football wise over the last number of years. Because the bottom line here is we want to qualify for the Champions League. We know what comes with it regarding financial clout and the teams we've got to see, and all the supporters want to see the best players like that. The best players and the best teams come to Ibrox, and they want to go in their away games to different clubs in Europe, and watch they go to the top stadiums in Europe and that, like, you know. So it's not the end of the world. Let's put it this way: if we don't go through, it'll be disappointing. But listen, we'll wait and see, because this journey with the Rangers is just magnificent. You know what I mean? Just when we think it's going to get better, something happens, it takes another wee twist in the tail. You know what I mean? So I'm sure there'll be another couple of wee twists in the tail over the next 2 games, mate.
Absolutely. There's going to be lots of mini stories to tell from this match, and of course next week's match as well. And as you said, Billy, I just want them to go out there and leave it on the park. And, you know, we know that, you know, a couple of weeks ago, they weren't able to leave Belgium saying that they'd done that. And, you know, they did a magnificent repair job back at Ibrox. And, you know, to realign the planets and make everything right in the universe again, which was just fantastic. And it was, you know, such a good performance. And remember, to do that in the 90 minutes as well, without having to take it into the extra time, was even more commendable. So we know that this team has got heart and fight. We just need to start from the off today and just leave it on that park, and, you know, let's just do what we can. And I don't want to come away with it saying, oh, if only we'd upped our level or something like that. You know, just put in the best performance they can, as we know that they're capable of, and we know that we've seen through the last 12 months in what has been the most unbelievable 12 to 18 calendar months of Rangers in Europe. And everyone listening would agree with that. I know sometimes we disagree over team selections and tactics from time to time, but I don't think anyone listening would disagree with how wonderful it has been following the Gers in Europe over the last 18 months, and of course previous seasons under Stevie as well. And we're going to have an exciting season again in Europe, guys, whatever happens. And fingers crossed we can get that win tonight. And do you think we need more than a 1-goal lead? I mean, of course, that would be really, really nice, and that's probably a really obvious question.
Oh yeah, listen, mate. I'll take a bridge, man. I'll take a bridge, man. 1-0 and 1-0, mate. That'll do me. If it's a squeaky bummer for 2 games, then so be it, mate. I just listen. We'll all be shouting and we'll all hear our own thoughts and what we're this, that, and the next thing, like, you know. But I'll take a nothing at Ibrox and a 1-0 there, mate. If that's the way it's got to be to get us through. But as you said, all we want today, mate, long as the players realise how, I mean, obviously they had they know how disappointing they were, and we all were, to lose the final, mate. So they could use that as a motivation, to drive us on into the Champions League, mate. You know what I mean? Because every player wants to play in the Champions League. That's the top tournament in Europe to play in, mate. And all we ask as Rangers supporters is to go there and give it everything, mate. And if they do that, if they go there and give it everything and play to their best, and it doesn't happen, then we can say, well, listen, we gave it everything and we pat ourselves in the back and we move on. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's got to be it'll be a first time for some of these players as well. Like, say, McLaughlin's never played in the Champions League. Tavernier, Golson, Sands, Barisic, Lundstrom, Lawrence, Kent, Cole. I don't know if Kolak's played in he just played in the group stages, mate. I could be wrong. Maybe you could look into that one, mate. But the only really one out the full starting 11 that's played in the Champions League is Stevie Davis. So this is all a great incentive for the players that's starting tonight as well, mate, to go and get yourself into Europe's top football tournament.
Billy, I don't think I still see myself as a fairly young person. I don't think my heart would be able to take a 1-0 Bridgeman over 2 legs. So I don't know what the listeners or our producers are thinking on that one, but I'm going to struggle to sit through 2 matches where we win 1-0. There's not going to be much of me left after that. So hopefully the football gods are kind and we can maybe score a few more over the 2 legs. But you know something? It has to be a 1-0. As long as it's in our favour, then it's all good. Some of the displays we've had over the years, we've had some very, very exciting but also nerve-shredding away games, haven't we? Over 2 legs to complete progress into the Champions League and latter stages of Europa competitions. Of course, Werder Bremen comes to mind. Parma comes to mind, where we lost on the night in both games, but qualified overall. Mm-hmm. And you know that's all it needs. I mean, remember we lost 2-1 to Red Star last season, but we'd still done more than enough to get through. So, you know, as long as we score enough in the first leg and we can hold something over there, but a 1-0, I don't know if I'm strong enough, mate. Take it if I have to. But it's a big opportunity tonight, and a lot of my friends have been able to go to the game, which is great. Hopefully, I'll be able to go up there for a few matches when we get to the group stage, and that'd be just wonderful to see them play. But also, guys, wouldn't it be fantastic if we get some amazing away games to go to as well? Because we've got so many thousands of fans that want to go and follow the famous all over Europe. And we know that there's some big boy teams that will be in that group stage that we can play. Premier League, La Liga, Italian League, German League. It's just a whole lot of quality. And, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be difficult. But when you're mixing it with those level of teams, Billy, it gives you that opportunity to improve, doesn't it?
That's right, mate. I think too, don't quote me on this one as well, but I think if we go through over the 2 legs, we get into pot 2.
I think
if we get into pot... Yeah, sorry, on you go, mate. On you go.
I think that might be based on some other results, Billy. I know that Kiev need to beat Benfica for us to be in a particular pot. That could be 2 or pot 3. If Benfica go through, that might actually put us as low as pot 4, possibly. So, know something? Don't worry about the pots, because it's just, you've just got to be there. And, we could have been pot 1 if we'd won the Europa. We could end up in pot 2, 3 or 4, depending on who else goes through. If we make it, doesn't matter. Just got to get there. And either way, my friend, we're going to get some exciting teams if we do make it there. I'm just gonna sit back tonight, relax as best I can, and enjoy that match. And is there anything else you think we need to be careful of with this PSV team? I mean, I mentioned earlier that their winger Gakpo is dangerous. De Jong is noted as a great header of the ball, and of course Joey Veerman, who we were reportedly after a year or so ago, has been decent for them. They are by far, in my opinion, the most attack-minded players. And of course, every team has star players, but I don't necessarily think defensively, as I said at the top of the show, that defensively they're that strong. And do you think that, with the pace that we've got in our team now, and with players like Matondo who can come on as well, do you think that could cause them some problems?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Of course we can. That's what we are. As I said earlier on, mate. I'm. Obviously, we need to bring our A game to the starting 11 tonight as well. They all need to bring their A game to it, mate. And obviously, we are Golson and Sands, they'll need to be right on their toes tonight as well, because your man De Jong, I think he's 2 spells at PSV, mate, and I think it's something like 112 goals in 204 games in his first spell. I mean, that's a frightening ratio. And then I think he's scored something like, 2 goals in 5 games or something since in his second spell, mate. So he'll be a real threat tonight. And as you said, mate, he's a good header of the ball. So we'll need to address that, especially for wide areas, because this team like to get wide and all, and they like to get good quality balls into the box. And Big Golson and the laddie Sands, they'll need to be right on it tonight, because they'll need to deal with that. That's the only really thing that concerns me, mate, is that type of ball into the box. So hopefully they'll no score. But you've got, listen, not just bringing the balls into, throwing balls into the box. If you can cut that out, so the boys cut the boys out at the source, then they don't get the opportunities, but they will get opportunities in the game, mate. And we just need to make sure that when the opportunities come along, we defend corners, free kicks, in the right way, mate, and make sure that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. And let's hope there's no silly mistakes, mate, because we don't want to give this team any incentive at all. But as for going the opposite way, mate, I mean, they will give us chances, because it's in their locker. They're not the greatest at the back, mate. You know what I mean? I can't mind that boy's name, but is he the German laddie? What's his name again? The German boy that plays at the back for him.
Is it Sanger?
Sanger, I think so, mate. Sanger, aye. There's one of them that's not the greatest, and there's another one of them likes to put himself about too, like, so if we can get Kent on the ball and we can get Tillman on the ball with their pace and that, I mean, I really think we can hurt hurt that team tonight as well at Ibrox. Plus we'll hear the crowd, we'll hear the big crowd I think is as well, mate. And we've got to get good service. We've got to get good service into Kolak, mate. That's the key for a big man. Big man doesn't want boys into his feet 10 yards after 18-year box to try and hang it, mate. He wants service in the penalty box, mate. That's where he comes alive.
Exactly.
Can I ask you a question?
Hello, folks.
How do you think we'll go about this tactically? It's a tie over 2 legs. I think we'll have a 20-minute period at the opening of the game of feeling each other out as the two teams size each other up. And I think the crowd need to remember, cheer us on as much as you can, but don't expect all-out attack for the word go. That's my question. Do you think it'll be like that, or do you think it'll be all-out attack from the start?
Do you want to answer that? I only go, Justy. When you go, mate.
Well, Fox, we saw in a number of the home ties last season that whether it was first leg or second leg at Ibrox, we did start very quickly. If you remember, we scored a number of goals quite early. Tab at the back post with a couple, if you remember. So we know that we're quite capable of starting really quickly. But you're right, Fox. Sustaining that throughout the whole 90 is obviously an impossibility. There's going to be parts of the match where PSV will have possession, and we'll have to just try and manage that as best we can. What I want them to be able to do is up the tempo when they need to, because there might be, the PSV could score. We might need to get a couple more goals tonight, to increase that lead. You don't want them sitting back. What do you think, Billy?
Aye, mate. I don't think we'll go for it tonight for some reason. I know what I think anyway. I think Gio obviously he knows the Dutch system inside out, and he'll know how PSV are going to play. So I'm sure he'll his team set up in a certain manner that he's going to utilise it to the strengths of Rangers, and obviously the strengths to hurt PSV, if that makes any sense, Fox. So I don't think he'll go for it, mate. But I'm sure Gio had done his homework, mate. But listen, the fans and that, the fans will always, we know the score in the stadium, mate. The fans always go with the team, mate. But the players need to give the fans something to shout about. And if it's not going their way, mate, let's be patient. You know what I mean? Let's not go on the team's back, because we don't want that to happen early doors, mate, because all that'll do is put a wee bit animosity round about the stadium, mate, and that'll go right onto the park. We don't want the players feeling like that as well, mate. So I don't think we'll go for it. To answer your question, mate, I think we'll be patient. And I think it'll be a cracking football game, mate, between two teams that's going to want to play football, mate.
Fox, let me ask you, would you like to see a managed approach? I mean, the controlled approach, rather than saying first 20 minutes, just push them and see what we can get?
I think we need to remember it's over the two ties, mate. I think the PSV are a team capable of scoring. They've scored in the last 13 games, mate. So they're capable of scoring an away goal. And I think we need to size them up, try and win one-on-one battles, and try most of all to control the midfield. I think Davis is in there for his experience, and alongside Lundstrom, I think they two can read the game well and cover for both for full-backs maybe pushing forward. But I think it'll be an open, although I'm saying it'll be cautious the first 20 minutes, I think it'll be a quite open game. I don't think they'll sit back and just try and hit us on the counter. I think they'll come in here to try and get a result, and that's the way I think the game will go. I'm hoping for a 2-1 win myself.
What, Fox? What do you think of the starting 11, mate? Would it be a starting 11 you were choosing yourself, or was it on the lines of thinking that way, or which? I mean, Stephen Davis is playing the night, mate. What do you think yourself?
Well, as I said, Stephen Davis, a massive experience in both domestic and international football. Great brain in his head. He's great at reading the game. Can control it for the back. And Lundstrom is of the same ilk to me. Strong in the tackle. Good vision in him. And he can defend the midfield. I think we'll have 3 against the 2 in midfield tonight. So I think Lawrence will need to track back and Tillman will need to track back as well. So to cover the midfield when they do try and play the ball out. But hopefully, I think it's a team that I was happy to see. The only one was, of course, Sands for me was a wee bit out of the box for me. I thought when Davies had made his debut at the weekend, that would be him in the team. But Sands is good in the tackle. And maybe the bit of pace, extra pace that he's got is why he's in the side.
Yeah, I would go along with that, Pox. One player that we haven't mentioned to a great degree tonight, but you just mentioned him there, Fox, was Tillman. And we've seen over the last couple of games his aerial threat as another component to his game. And I think we're all quite satisfied now that he's fully fit because he's had a couple of lengthy matches and he's got the minutes in him. He didn't look totally fit when he first came in, but we know he's got a very, very good game. And in that number 10 role, he's dangerous, isn't he?
Without a doubt. I think he's a bit like Hadji to me, only he's got more strength and more guile on the ball. Can take players coming in and challenging him and turn away from him with the ball and run at defences. Same with Tom Lawrence, who also does that. A thing that we badly needed last year and wasn't present. But the introduction of these two up front has gave us all sorts of good options for me. I think both of them are a goal threat, and hopefully tonight one of them hits the back of the net anyway. Anyway, if you'd like to just start finishing up because we all need to get ready and go and see the game.
Hey, well, just to touch on that, Fox, before we go, mate. Big Tillman, he's an aerial threat, mate, which is something we've not had for a wee while. And the boys' confidence has got to be sky high after scoring the last couple of goals, mate. So, if there's anything going out, any of the crosses are going to the back stick, mate. The big man's going to be looking to get on the end of them, mate. So I'm really looking forward to the game, buddy. So bring it on, mate. Bring it on.
Thank you to Billy. Thank you to Fox. Please join us approximately 10 minutes after the full-time whistle, where we'll be celebrating, hopefully, a Rangers victory. Take it away, Old School Bloke.
As I was walking